Next we shall demonstrate on how to take voltage readings within the computer. For this we have removed the power supply, although in most cases it will be in situ. Check that the power switch is in the off position, then connect the mains lead. You should not plug this cable into the mains until the motherboard has been connected. This is the motherboard that we shall be testing the voltages on. This has been removed from the case for clarity purposes. The 24-pin power connector is inserted to the motherboard. And the 4-pin CPU power lead. The mains lead is then connected to the mains and the power switch is switched on. In many cases, as in this example, all that will happen is at this stage is a power LED will illuminate. The two pins that are normally connected to the front panel switch is then chosen using one of the meter probes. This should cause the fan on the heatsink to turn and the power is supplied to the motherboard. Next, the meter is set to 200 volt range, since we need only want to read to 1 decimal place. Also, we shall record the voltages. This is the diagram of the wires that are on the 24-pin motherboard connector. We shall insert the black or negative probe into the end socket that contains the black lead. The red probe or positive lead is then inserted into the far left-hand part of the plug that contains the orange lead. The result is 3.3 volts. This time we shall repeat this, but the negative probe will be connected to the metal chassis. Once again, we have the same reading. This is because the black lead or negative lead is grounded or connected to the chassis. Next we shall check the blue wire. This reads minus 11.6 volts. Next is one of the black wires. Since this is connected to the chassis, there will be no voltage reading. Although the green is not connected to the black wire, it too also reads 0. This is followed by 3 more black wires, also reading 0. The white wire reads minus 4.9. This is followed by 3 red wires, all reading just over 5 volts, and finally a black wire. The next column starts off with 2 orange wires both reading 3.3 volts. A black wire reading 0. A red wire reading 5.1, followed by a black wire reading 0, a red reading 5.1, followed by a black again that reads 0. The green wire reads 5.1 volts, the pink just 5 volts, followed by 2 yellow that read 12 volts, and finally an orange that reads 3.3 volts. The CPU power connector has 2 yellow, both reading 12.1 volts, and 2 black that read 0. Notice that all the same colour leads are the same voltage. As an example, all the orange wires are 3.3 volts, as are all the red wires, all 5.1 volt. It should also be noted that the standard voltages are 3.3, 5, negative 5, positive 12 and negative 12 volts. These voltages can vary to some degree as in our example. The reason why, as in this example, they are 4 3.3 volt rails is because they have different ratings of power consumptions. 3.5 and 5 volt rails are commonly used for the integrated circuits on the motherboard, while the 12 volt rail is used for the CPU and motor circuits. There can be, although it is rare, where a voltage rail is taken down by a device. If, for instance, this affects the 12 volt rail, then disconnect all the devices from this rail where possible. If this does not cure the problem and the rail is not to the correct voltage, then the whole unit should be replaced. Never attempt to open or repair a power supply, since they can be dangerous even when disconnected from the main supply, since they can hold a significant charge for a period of time.